Hi, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. This is going to be a reading for Libra. Libra, the symbol of the scales of justice. Libras are so great at bringing balance to turbulent situations. They have access to a profound amount of diplomacy. Okay, Spirit, let's drop in, everyone. Deep breaths. Okay, Spirit, what do Libras need to know? What are they confronting? What are the blocks that they will meet? And what do they need to know about overcoming those blocks? Can I get one message, one card for the overall reading? All right, we got two cards. We have adventure and individuality. I'm just going to lean these up against this lovely rock I found. And those are the overall messages of this reading, right? That's the lens at which we're going to look through the rest of the reading. We have adventure and individuality. Let me feel that for a second. Libras. Yeah, I mean, look at this. You have individuality. It's an 11 card. It's the 1 and the 1. To me, those are two very balanced pillars, or two very strong legs that one can stand on. And so, Libra, you're, I didn't pull the rest of your message, but what's coming through immediately is that this is a time in your life where you get to be the foundation for yourself. Maybe you've moved through your life being such a profound, incredible, high-functioning foundation for everyone else, but maybe you haven't really done that for yourself. Well, now is a time, we have 5, symbol of change, right? Number of change. Now is a time where you get to actually use all of that wisdom and your skills of bringing things into balance to take this next adventure of your life, whatever that may be for you. Okay, where do we want to go, Spirit? Where do we want to go? All right. What would support their individuality? What would support them going on this adventure? Are there any blocks that are coming up? Okay, we have clarity. Anything else? Whoa. All right, I'm not going to take these, but I will take these. We have happiness in reverse, and what does it say? Prosperity in reverse. Anything else, Spirit? I'm already getting messages, but hold on a second. All right, let's see what we got. We have manifestation in reverse. Do you see? Is this going to be a reverse? It is. Closure. Okay, let's see what's in the unconscious position. Another reversal. It's willpower. Reversals in the unconscious position. That's a false shadow for me, Libras. I have to keep remembering who I'm doing the sign for. Forgive me if you hear me stutter a little bit. Okay, clarity. The only upright we have is clarity. This whole next chapter of your life, the way to fuel this next adventure is through clarity. Imagine clarity as your gasoline that you must put in your gas tank to be able to make your vehicle go, right? Your vessel, your sacred vessel that will take you on these adventures. Okay. I mean, there's no great shakes here. There's nothing crazy coming out in the reading. It makes sense to me that your prosperity, your manifestations, your happiness is not fully realized in this moment because why? You're gaining clarity. Maybe you're gaining clarity around which relationships, partnerships, jobs, locations, living, places of living that you need to close out. Okay. Let's go straight to the meat and potatoes of this reading, which is I just realized this wasn't on camera. I'm sorry. I'm like pointing to it, but you can't see it. Okay, the meat and potatoes of all readings for me is the shadow position because that's where the real work is, right? It's like, what is the thing that we're pushing away that will actually move the needle? For you Libras, it's this willpower. Now, let me feel that for a moment. Again, my version, this message, the way I read, the false shadow to me is a little flag. It's flagging me to tell you that it's not going to be what you think it is. It's like maybe you think you don't have willpower in one area of your life and you do in another, but it's not going to, it's like the challenges you think you're going to confront are actually going to be easy, and the easy things you're going to confront might be a little bit more challenging. They might catch you off guard, but that's why you're listening to this reading. You don't have to be caught off guard. You understand how the magician does the trick, so you don't have to be surprised or taken aback, because you understand that you're prepared for it a little bit. Okay, do I have anything else to say about that, Spirit? No, let's move on. All right, let's get some of these. Where do we want to go? What question should we ask? It's not a typical shadow, so I can't even ask what would help them move through this. Or, and I just got really hot all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm wondering what this is for you, Libra. It's like you're so good at bringing things into balance. And if we look at this card in the upright, look at this. This figure is quite literally holding the moon and the earth. And are there any other planets? Sorry, I'm looking at it closer. Quite literally holding these planets in balance. And it's in the reverse. So is there something that is a very touchy thing for you? Is there something that really triggers you about something in your life that you struggle to bring willpower and endurance to, that really just knocks you off your center? Listen, you are the scales of justice, and it doesn't mean that you're always meant to be perfectly balanced. You are a divinely fallible human being, and you came here to learn things and have experiences. So whatever this is, just know that you do have the skills to bring whatever this is into balance. Okay, let me just see here. One moment. Nope, just got to switch up message. I have no good place to shuffle. Hold on, let me shuffle over here so it's not so loud. Okay, Spirit. Okay, what are we talking about here? Can you give us any context, any additional information? What are these wonderful Libras confronting right now? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Sorry, let's be clear. What do we need to know for the highest and best good of self and the planet? What do these Libras need to know? What are they confronting? Can you say, what does that say? Dress rehearsal. It came out sort of in the reverse and also spinning. Alternate course choices. Yeah, I'm going to put that right under clarity. Okay, here's a message. We have dress rehearsal. What is a dress rehearsal? A dress rehearsal is like the real thing before the real thing, the realist thing before the real thing. It's the practice run, right? So whatever you're going through now, Libra, just know that this is your practice run, that you are being called to navigate these circumstances, to give you the skills that will bring more clarity to you, so that when the big adventure comes for you to step into your sovereignty and your power and make choices that are in alignment with your soul, you will now know how to do it. And this dress rehearsal is lovely because it won't cost you anything. It's only net positive for you. It's only a learning experience. However, when the real thing comes, there's going to be, it's like they up the ante a little bit. Okay, what do we have here? We have winter, reflection, transition, and release in reverse. Let me just take this off one moment. I need more space. Okay, dream guide, teacher, guardian. A lot of reversals here. Astral travel, vital force information, dream time, soul travel. It's very clear what these messages are. You're being called to enter into your dream space a little bit more intentionally. If you've been following me since the early days of my channel, about a year ago, a little over a year, you will remember that for like the first 4 months of my channel, 6 months even, this dream space kept coming up. I felt like I was coaching people on how to remember your dreams and what to do and what questions to ask and how to very heavily in the beginning. It died off for a few months. However, as I do these zodiac readings, there's been a couple signs that this has come up. So I'm just going to say it again. So listen, sometimes Libra, like we all have light attributes and shadow attributes of our gifts, right? We all have, I don't want to say positive, negative, we'll just say useful and not useful qualities and sides of our gift. So, the thing is, being the scale of justice of the zodiac, being this, diplomatic force that brings everything into balance, the shadow attribute of that is that you never let yourself come out of balance, Libras. So I'm not saying that you have to unleash the Kraken on anyone or yourself or your life. However, I am curious if you allow yourself to get pulled off your center, because sometimes when we're so talented at being diplomatic and neutral and kind of level-headed and even keeled and all these kind of balanced things on the outside, it might look really positive. People think you may have mastered yourself, that you've really come into this profound non-attachment balance. However, if you're doing it in a way, Libras, that is betraying, rejecting, or abandoning a truth within yourself, it is not sustainable. It is not healthy. So I'm very curious, is there something that you have been working really hard to stay balanced in, but really you're abandoning how you truly feel? Are you putting the needs of others before the needs of yourself? Are you sacrificing yourself, right? These are things that are not sustainable and are usually rooted in some deeper pattern of how we were raised. I was the youngest. I was a people pleaser. I was, very emotionally sensitive because I was the spectator of the entire family. I was watching, right? I was too young to be involved in all the things, but I was watching, observing. And that created a very unique person. Yes, I was a little psychic back then, but it was mainly, just dealing with that family of origin stuff, Libra. So what are you confronting right now that maybe was, maybe like how you are now is a product of how you were raised? Think about sibling order. Are you an only child? Do you have siblings? Which one are you? Youngest, oldest, middle? Think about these things. Anyway, let's go back to dream life. Let me just turn this up right because can't read it. Winter, reflection, transition, release. And this looks like a very wintry card as well. Okay, this is a message for a very select few of you. This doesn't feel like the majority of who I'm reading for, of the Libra collective. It feels maybe like 37% of you. Very bizarre how that number came out of me, but whatever. Sorry, I just need all these upright so I could read them. So, okay. Am I saying that you should go down the rabbit hole of learning how to astral travel? Absolutely not. It's very advanced and it's pretty exhausting. And I don't think that's what you're being called to. However, we all dream. Not all of us remember our dreams, but you can actually practice to remember your dream. I would like you to get a notebook or a journal or a pad and pen and leave it on your nightstand. This is important. Do not use your phone, because when you wake up, it's real. The phone, the blue light, or whatever it is about using that technology, it takes you out of that, that space between dream and awake, that space in between realms, in between consciousness. And so what I want you to do before you open your eyes, it's like, when you're having a dream and you could feel yourself coming out of it, and then you're out of it and you just had a dream, right? You're laying in bed, it's all dark, you just had a dream, and maybe it's time to wake up, maybe it's not, but that if you really wake up, you may forget that dream, right? That's happened to all of us, I'm assuming. Before you open your eyes, before you let yourself fully come out of that space and back into the room, ask yourself this question: what was the overall feeling in my dream? Not how you feel now out of the dream, but in the dream, what was the overall feeling? What was the overall issue or thing that you were confronting, right? Whether you think this is a spiritual thing or you think this is a psychological, like a Jungian analysis of your dreams, it doesn't really matter. What matters is what you do, what information you get and what you do with it, right? And what you're bringing back home to yourself. Okay, so oh, they're having me pivot kind of aggressively here. So it's also might not be that you have to be the one that dissects this unconscious or this other subconscious space. You might go to dream space to incubate a dream, as my dream worker says. I love that term, incubate a dream. Incubating a dream quite literally means you can intentionally ask a question right before you go to sleep and then see what answers show up in your dream. So do some of you need a guide, need a spiritual teacher, a mentor, someone to help you through this next chapter of your life? You might find that teacher through dream space. So play around. Like, listen, I work with the light. I don't, how do I say this? I have come into contact with entities and I've had visitations of my ancestors and other entities. However, because I work in the light, they are of the light. So I'm going to ask you to set in, and this isn't to scare you. This is just like, information is power, right? And so the more information we have about different things, the more tools we have in our tool bag. So I like to set an intention before I sleep, or, everyone has different things. My grandmother used to write Jesus on her pillow before she went to sleep. And I have to admit I do the same thing because it just reminds me of my grandmother. And now I write my grandmother's name under my pillow. Anyway, set an intention for your environment where you sleep, where you live, your house, your home, your city, your town, whatever it is. You could say, I reject any and all malevolent energies. This is only space for love. I only welcome love and light. I ground in this truth, or whatever. You could make up your own thing that you say, almost just like a disclaimer of like, hey, if you're going to enter my energy, whatever it may be, and mind you, most of the time it's just going to be parts of yourself, right? That's what dream is. It's like, you could read any of Jung's, work on dreams, and it's all parts of our unconscious trying to speak with us, trying to give us the puzzle pieces on this like treasure hunt of our soul, of this awakening, of this self-awareness. Okay, the only thing I didn't really talk about is this winter card reflection, transition, release. That's not new. It was in the reverse, mind you. It's not new in this narrative. This whole thing, remember, what is on the horizon, the lens we're looking through, is stepping into individuation, stepping into your individuality, into your own sovereignty, and taking intentionally this next leg of your journey. However, why is all of this stalled? Because you're seeking clarity. We almost have, it looks like a bubble or a crystal ball, which you could see into, when you have clarity of something, it's essentially like you're seeing into the future. That's why, like, us intuitives or psychics or mediums, we're not that special. And I always like to take this gift off of the pedestal to inspire you to access your own deepest intuition and discernment. Okay. Anything else about that? Let's see. What else do Libras need to know? What else do Libras need to know? What do we got? We have freedom. Yeah, that felt like a really loving, yeah. Libras, my heart goes out to you if you felt that, this lack of clarity has been a little bit like an anchor on your foot or something. Anything else? What does that say? Oh, wildflower freedom. Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. I missed that, and I'm happy they called my attention to it. Libras, like, you're so gifted and so talented at being diplomatic, at not losing your shit, at not losing your cool, at always saying the right things, doing the right things. You're allowed to be, you are still worthy if you are wild. If you have a moment of like an unhinged moment, or a moment where you are not making yourself the responsible party for this balance, you're allowed, you're still worthy, you're still enough in this world if you come out of balance. There's something here about, like, I think the clarity you seek is rooted in what you feel that freedom is. Oh, I just got dizzy when I said that. Wow. That took my breath away right there. The clarity you seek is rooted in what you define freedom as. What is freedom to you? Because here's the thing. Yes, you are naturally talented at bringing things into balance, at mediating yourself and life and the world around you. However, it doesn't mean it's your soul's calling to do that, right? It's just naturally how you are. So I'm curious, where in your life is this diplomacy getting in the way of who you are? Do you ever feel like doing this balance work is actually draining you? Pay attention to where it's draining you, because that's going to speak volumes of where you need to start your work. Like, listen, if you work in an office and there's a lot of chaos, you don't have to be the one that brings everything into balance. You don't have to do that work. Listen, you're not getting paid to do that work, right? You get paid to do whatever job you're there to do, but you're not paid to do that work. Unless you're some sort of mediator or counselor, and maybe some of you are. However, this is a call of a higher discernment around what personal boundaries you need to implement in your life, Libras. All right, what do we have here? Camellia, devotion. You're so devoted and in such service to the collective. Where can you be more devoted to self? What does self need right now? What does self need to feel free, to feel whole? Whew. I feel very dizzy right now. Let me take a sip of something. Wow. Oh. All right, what do we have? We have hope. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else? I almost feel like I went too fast in this reading. I almost feel, excuse me, I just got hiccups too. A lot of throat chakra stuff happening. A lot of breath weird. My breath is affected. I have the hiccups. There's a lot of weird stuff happening. And I feel dizzy. So I'm curious, Libras, what would it take for you to slow down and give yourself safe, protected space for you to allow the clarity to come? Here's the thing, Libras. If you fill every nook and cranny of your life, you're not leaving a spot open for something new to flow in. So you have to remove something or create space for something new to come in. So if you're asking these very profound questions, you need to create space for the answers to come in. So what would it mean for you to create space for yourself and to surrender? What would it, do you contract? What if you sat in front of the TV and binged something all day? What if you just had no agenda? What if you just let the world take you where you want it to go? Does that feel good to you? Do you contract? Listen, we on the spiritual path, we are becoming a finely tuned instrument to pick up on resonance. That's all we're doing here, right? It's like when we touch resonance, we're touching truth. And that truth then fuels our discernment, right? That truth and intuition fuels our discernment. And then we can make better choices. We can hold better boundaries. This is very important. I didn't even talk about this yet, but you got seize the day. The time is now. Carpe diem, Libras. Like the time is now. Interesting. What's in the unconscious position is fertility. So this is a very abundant, rich soil kind of card. Fertility. Think babies, pregnancies, and yet you're pushing it into the shadow. So I have a feeling, Libras, that you know that your abundance is on the other side of confronting this difficult thing. I feel that you know this because why? You're pushing it into the shadows. Whether you're conscious of it or not, like maybe it's unconscious, and then when you move through this, all of this, this onslaught of beauty and abundance and gifts and alignment will come in. All right, I might have to stop this reading very shortly because I am really getting dizzy. What does this say? Friendship, nurture your relationships. So here's the thing, Libra. I feel like I say that so much in all my reading. Here's the thing. It makes me laugh. Anyway, here's the thing. To have authentic, quality friendships, you need to show your true self. You need to show up and allow all sides of yourself to dare to be loved, right? Part of building friendships is asking for help when you need it, is daring to be vulnerable and allowing someone to see you in that vulnerability and gifting them the wonderful sacred opportunity to rise to the occasion, to meet you in your vulnerability and share love and compassion and empathy. However, Libras, do not leave yourselves out in the cold. You may feel that you're always the one that has to fix things or bring things into balance or temper the energies in the room. But when do you let someone show up for you and do that for you? Here's another way to look at it. You might be stealing someone else's hero's journey of bringing balance to a situation if you're swooping in as the hero every time, right? So if it's not authentic, natural, in ease, flow, and grace for you to step up and help, don't step up and help. Take a back seat. Maybe you're supposed to witness someone else in their glory, in their skills. Maybe someone else has something to teach you about bringing things into balance. Maybe there's a healthier way, Libras. Anything else for Libras? Do you hear my energy? I am shot. Wow. Illusion, embrace the truth. Yeah. In this card, there's a mirror reflection. It looks like I don't know if she's a ballerina or something, but she's facing a mirror. The back of her is facing a mirror and it's producing a mirrored image. It's really easy, Libras, to view something and it could look exactly like the truth. And yet it's actually the truth inverted. So you're being called to a higher discernment. You're being called to clean your lens so that you can access this higher clarity. Anything else? We have children. Know that your children are protected. And Archangel Gabriel, messenger of creativity and hope. This is the second card of hope you've had, Libras. The second card of hope. And look at all these children in this card reaching up for this angel, trusting. Look at this child here being held by this tiger, whatever it is. I'm curious what this is for you. Do you feel like you always have to be the one to take charge and create balance because children will not be safe, or you're worried about children? Or is it your inner child that feels unsafe? Were you raised in an environment where your parents did not have the regulating skills, the self-regulating skills? Did you always have to show up and be the one to calm the situation, to de-escalate the situation? News for you, divine Libras, this wasn't your role. Yes, you were really good at it. Sure, you excelled, but it wasn't your role. Your role was to be a child. And while those skills kept you safe, they are not the skills that you need to maintain in this part of your life. You get to parent this inner child. You get to be the parent that maybe you never had to bring this balance in. What's really interesting is we have the owl card in the unconscious position. Follow your intuition. You know the way, Libras. You know the way. The way, the light, the truth. Why? Because truth has its own vibration, right? You can't miss it. You know what it is. But your job is to have enough clarity and self-love to implement that truth, to implement that intuition, to take action rooted in this truth that you know to be true. Not that you believe to be true, that you know to be true. I think I'm going to leave it there. No, let me get like one self-care card. I'm just going to pick one. It says make a vision board in reverse. Yeah, to me, this is, where are you leaving yourself out in the cold? That you're allowed to have a vision. You're allowed to dream big for yourself. You do not have to fulfill a certain role or complete certain tasks to earn your keep on this planet. You don't have to pay rent on this planet. You get to just be you. You don't have to save anyone. You don't have to swoop in and be the hero of this moment. You're allowed. It's time now. It's time now, Libras, to make a vision for yourself, to put yourself first. Here's the thing, what people forget. Here's the thing that I'm saying, here's the thing again. Here's the thing that people forget is that following your deepest resonance makes everything else easy. When I think of that, I think of all of these things that we're plugging into, all these like illusions we're keeping alive. It's almost like dominoes being set up one right after the other. When you finally feel resonance, it's like knocking down that first dominoes, and then all of a sudden all of the illusions fall. You're all of a sudden hyper aware of every place you've invested your energy in that wasn't in alignment, and they fall down. You don't have to go and work on every little thing. You've been illuminated. You've been awakened. So let me tell you, that first flick of the first domino is your work. And then it'll all fall into place after. Let's just do it. Right? It's like, look at this. Once you have clarity, it's like clarity knocking down all of these domino slices, and then boom, they all fall. Really big reading. Let me just pull one Buddha wisdom. I don't even have the energy to shuffle. I'm just going to split the deck and pick one. Surrender your judgments. See beyond the end and the beginning. Beautiful. Gonna leave it there, Libra. Hope this was supportive, and I'll see you in the next one.